Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and talk about a topic that I am not qualified for, but I think would be a really, really funny video and to go from there. But it's just going to be my findings regarding online dating and to go from there. So online dating, I think, kind of sucks for guys, but I'm going to talk about things I've kind of discovered about it and ways to work around it and make it work for you if you're a guy. Okay, so the way it works with online dating is it's now a good thing and a bad thing in terms of like you have access to. In the olden days, what used to happen was you would just meet people through organically, and the way that's how you would meet people. But now you have an application, kind of like Uber, and basically you have access to this many people that you didn't have before. And so what happens is, each time you go on the app, you start seeing people, and you start getting pickier. You're just like, oh, that girl has this, that girl has that. And so what happens is, I was actually kind of joking around about this. Online dating for guys, it feels like you're in a 300 guy tournament. There's like a ton of guys, right? And this one girl is just super picky, right? And so what happens is she's dating all, just to determine who is like the best guy out of all these guys. And this is you. You're trying to get first place. You're trying. And a lot of these guys probably have other things going for them, but you got to be first place, right? So you're already in a losing tournament. So this guy lost, this guy lost, this guy lost. And what happens is the moment that first place is chosen, right? Well, what happens is some other girl from another tournament takes this dude. So in other words, everyone loses. It's just like my actually joke about it. But, okay, so let me tell you something. So Coffee Meets Bagel, is one application I've been using actually before, and it actually used to be good. I do not recommend Coffee Meets Bagel anymore because the way it works is there will be a girl or whatever, this person likes you, but you can't fucking see them. And so the only way you can see them is you got to pay money. Well, the thing is, they can't see your ass because they need to pay too. It's the most stupidest business model I've ever seen where both people have to pay in order to see each other. So the answer to this is fuck Coffee Meets Bagel. This is not good. And go with another one called Hinge. Hinge is a lot better than Coffee Meets Bagel because you can actually see who actually is interested in you and you can chat with them and that's good. But here's what's going on. Both of these applications, the paid version of them, basically promise that you have unlimited whatever access to everyone on there. But it's actually not truly unlimited. You're actually being throttled. So if you get either Hinge Plus or Hinge X, and I've actually experimented with both of them, and they actually are worth it for different reasons. So Hinge Plus is they have different filters that you have that you normally wouldn't be able to have that I think are pretty damn essential. So one of them is a woman with kids. You can be like, they'll creep up in your search if you don't have the paid version. Versus if you have Hinge Plus, it's like, sorry, you're not going to show up in my searches, period. But this also promises unlimited amounts of people too. However, what happens is after a while, you get the purple flamingo. And the purple flamingo says, you've met all your matches or whatever. I mean, you've seen all your matches, come back a little bit later. And what happens is you wait a little bit and then another person pops out in about an hour. And then you wait a little bit and then, you get the purple flamingo again. And then you wait a little, another one pops out. It's like, but I paid money to see this. Why can't I see everything? And it's because of this. And it's because I look at this from a standpoint of business. It's bad business. Because if they gave you everything, let's say hypothetically, there's this version called Hinge, triple X. And you're like, you get everything, everyone in your freaking town or whatever, everything. Well, if you get everything and you're not getting throttled and you get everything, this is bad business for them. Because what happens is you're going to be like, so what'll happen is in the end, you're just going to go boop, 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 on everyone. You're going to do on everyone, right? And what happens is two things is going to happen. Number one, it pans out and you are happy and you find a girl and you're gone. That's bad for business, right? Or number two, nothing pans out, but then in your mind, you're like, well, I already fucking reached out to everyone already. This is it. This is the end of the road. I'm done. I'm out of the app. Well, if they do that, then they're losing one person. I mean, they're losing people on the app. This is why they don't do this, right? So, okay. So that being said, now let's go over things that I think are kind of important regarding the application. Number one, okay, you want to make sure that you smile, right? Because a lot of people, they don't smile. They look like this or they look like this. That's not good. Second of all, is you want to make sure that as a guy, you do not have shirtless pictures of yourself, okay? That does not look good. You would think it looks good. That is not good, right? Third thing, you want to make sure that in the picture, when you want to really avoid having group photos where, there's a lot of people there, and you're like the one person over there. Don't do that. I know people say they want to have that in there so that it looks like you have a lot of friends. You got to be careful because it usually almost always works against you. And I'll tell you why. If it's a hot bee, then the girl's going to be like, who is that? Right? But if it's a friend of yours that's a dude, they're going to be like, ooh, who's that? In other words, you're getting screwed. And the other thing is, you want to choose interesting settings, right? So, in this case, so this is a toilet and there's a dude right here, posing in front. You don't do this, You want to choose interesting settings. The other thing you don't want to do, and a lot of people tend to do this, is let's say here's the picture, right? They're like one little blip on the side. You don't want to do that, right? You want to make sure that you are basically in the center of the photo. The other thing you want to do is don't take the prompts literally. So some of the prompts will be like, oh, you might like my dog because of whatever, and the whole fucking picture is the dog right here. You don't put the picture of the dog in the center. The prompt is supposed to be about you. So even though it says blah 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 dog, I know this sounds obvious, but it's not apparently, because what you want to do instead is make sure you feature yourself with the dog. Okay, another thing that's important to have on the picture is make sure you have a full body picture of yourself in one of the photos. If all your pictures are just, your face, then people are going to think something's wrong. Okay, all right, so another thing you don't want to do, which I see a lot of people tend to do wrong, is don't put pictures of sunglasses on there, because sunglasses are actually covering your face. And sometimes there'll be profiles where there's like all these pictures of just sunglasses. That just don't do that, because that's actually covering your face. Don't want to do that. The other thing that's important is make sure you really want to avoid selfies, where you're here's me with a selfie and this is me, and you don't want to do that. Get someone else to take the picture of you, and don't take selfies. The other thing I want to say is, one of your photos ideally should be something that's kind of action oriented. You don't want to just be like, dude, sometimes you'll just see a guy, he's just like on a bed, just chilling, like, hey, what's up, man? This is my picture. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure there's something kind of interesting going along in the picture, but where you are clear in the picture. And another thing you want to do is you want to make sure that it's zoomed in. Sometimes people are so focused on, ooh, this is a really cool mountain. Isn't that so cool? And they're that small. No, you want to take it where you are zoomed in and in there. So that's just really quick tips on at least the picture aspect.